Hi again. I want to talk in this blog about a concept called functioning recovery. This is very exciting for me to share with you because in the realm of Alzheimer's dementia, this concept has never, to my knowledge, been applied. And I want to acknowledge my associate Tammy Goldstein for acquainting me with this concept in the context of Alzheimer's and in the context also of the treatment of autism. Now, in Tammy's case, her research with autism showed that craniosacral therapy can help prevent and even reverse symptoms of autism, which we've known for several decades in working with kids. Again, not in every case, but in a majority of kids, we've seen some improvement with craniosacral therapy in a concentrated version over time. And in these kids with autism, what we found, and adults, is that they get better. But because the neurological damage has been so severe, they need some help maintaining their gains. And the good news is that as they get better, and they can then put a team together of people that can help maintain their quality of life, they will have a much better quality of life, sometimes dramatically so, which can make a difference. So we call this concept functioning recovery, that we can have a better quality of life and maintain functionality and put a team together that can do this. Now, we're applying this also to the concept of treatment with Alzheimer's, because basically, here's what we found. Even by doing these craniosacral treatments 10 to 15 minutes a day, people start to get better. They improve cognitive function, get an improvement in memory, begin to recognize their caregivers, become much less agitated. These are some of the classic things we found. Now, building upon that, what we've done is start to experiment, and we've had a lot of decades of history in this as well, applying what's called multi-hands therapy, where you have a number of therapists working on one person at the same time, maybe for up to 3 to 5 days, several hours at a time. What this does is begin to roll back the symptoms, because as I say in my book, Alzheimer's just doesn't occur one day like somebody wakes up with a flu. Basically, for decades prior to the onset of Alzheimer's, people have had what I call many of these diseases of aging that I'll talk about in a further blog as well. But the idea is that with concentrated work over time, people begin to roll back these symptoms. And because of that, the foundation of their dysfunction begins to dissolve and they get better. So that's the good news. And that's fundamentally really something to grasp, that recovery is actually possible. Just put a footnote in that, because that's very fundamental in and of itself. And so what happens, and we've learned this in the treatment of children with autism as well, is that people get better. And then over time, though, they may start to revert a little bit and slip back. Now, why is this so? Well, you have to remember and appreciate, both with autism and Alzheimer's, that there has been neurological damage done to the brain. So this is a severe thing. This isn't just a small thing. It takes a lot for those symptoms for the brain to begin to heal itself. And there's a growing body of evidence which says neurological repair is possible. Heretofore, it's thought that, well, it's not really possible that the brain or other parts of the nervous system can heal itself. And yet we found, with anecdotal evidence and increasing scientific evidence, that neurological repair is possible. We talk about neuroplasticity as part of the flexibility of the brain, working around an imposition, and at the same time, actual neurological repair being possible as well. So we're starting to document in our further research, both in terms of limited treatment at home and more concentrated clinical research, that this is possible. So keep an eye out as we work on some of these longer-term research projects to document this evidence-based research. But having said that, we know and we've observed already that people can get better. But then, and this is especially a note for caregivers to really understand, so this is really about educating caregivers in this, is your loved ones can get better. So that's the good news, and remarkable in and of itself. But then they may need some further support to maintain those gains. That's what functioning recovery is about. And so from a practical point of view, what this means is the following. People have had some concentrated treatment. They show signs and symptoms of improvement and recovery, and we want to maintain that to improve their quality of life. And so what functioning recovery means is, we're literally writing the book on this, is the following things. For example, we want to define the frequency of treatment, how much follow-up we need to maintain those gains, whether it's weekly, monthly, annually, like that. And we want to look at the optimal number of therapists that are needed to help maintain these gains, whether it's a single therapist or one or two or three, what that mix looks like. We want to look at defining if some follow-up in intensive therapy is possible, which is why we're actually helping to create teams around the country and around the world to have programs which continue to replicate our original results in working with someone. We want to find out and investigate whether other support modalities, such as changes in diet and exercise, stress reduction, and meditation, can also fit into this mix. So that's another aspect of defining what functioning recovery looks like for a particular person. And we also want to monitor this and make sure that medical and other communities are aware of what we're doing. And as an aside, when we look at functioning recovery in terms of cost justification, we want to point out to the public that actually how much money is being saved by someone not going into a nursing home, intensive, or memory care unit by maintaining their quality of life so they can maintain at home and have a better quality of life. What is the cost savings in terms of dollars and cents for doing that? What is the cost savings of avoiding 24/7 full-time care? So this is an exciting possibility. We're continuing to define the parameters, but know that functioning recovery, a new concept in terms of memory care for and building on improvement, is possible. So thanks for letting me share this with you, and we'll talk with you again soon. Thank you.